purely dominant performance. The Towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora, as well alongside his sister, the undisputed champ, here next to him. And then we got Chordale, the Gift Booker, coming on to the stage, coming up short against Fundora in this title bout. And we also have Freddie Fundora, trainer and father of Sebastian, Ahmad Minkins, trainer as well for Booker. And then we also have Samson Lukowitz from Team Fundora as well. So I want to welcome our main event up here on PBC Championship Boxing Prime Video. So first, we'll start with Booker. If you want to open up your thoughts on the performance coming up short. I know it's certainly not the ending you wanted, but to just elaborate on, thoughts from the fight.
First, I wanna give a few thank yous before I, open up with how I feel. I want to thank Al Heyman, of course. Thank God. Thank Team Fundora. Appreciate y'all. It's a tough one. I want to thank Tom Brown, Team GTB, PBC. Like I said, Al. Without Al, I wouldn't have been here. He gave me one of my best opportunities when I fought Omatoso. Helped me save my mom's house. So, to be back here, it was amazing. Everybody part of the promotion, you guys always are professional, always great. Of course, I didn't want this to be the way I lost, but Fundora, he made a great adjustment. He was everybody's worried about the uppercuts that he throws, and he was going for him. He landed some good ones too. And I was so worried about that, and he made a good adjustment. I'm sure his dad and his sister, his team, they caught on to it, and he started coming around with the shot, and it just caught me. It was a good adjustment. Threw my equilibrium off, and congrats, Fundora. That was a great shot, man, and thank you guys for giving me the opportunity.
Well, it's certainly not easy to do what any of these guys do up here, and to just get to make a world title challenge. It got to give props to you to step into the ring. Come on, you're taking on a guy that's 6'6". We've never seen it before, 154 pounds, and he's a champ for a reason. So we want to thank you for taking on that challenge. We'll have some questions for you in a moment, but okay. I want to give Sebastian now the mic and elaborate. You successfully making your first world title defense. How does it feel?
I'm very happy. Thank you to Samson, my promoter, the best promoter in the world. Thank you to Al Heyman. Thank you to Lucito. Thank you to Team Booker and Booker as well. I never fought such a gentleman before. He's been very respectful. A lot of people talk a lot. Booker's just been very, very respectful, and I think that's how the sport should be.
All right, guys, we're going to open it up to the media now. Please raise your hand if you have a question. We'll try to get you a mic, so we'll ask away.
Sebastian, congratulations. How good does this feel? It's a clear, convincing championship triumph for you.
I feel happy. I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy that everything worked out the way it did. This was a very nice title defense, and I look forward to the future.
¿Qué tal, Sebastian? Hello, Sebastian.
Hey.
First of all, congratulations. You're growing and growing. Not like this, but in boxing. But let me tell you something. You are on the Spirit family. When you think you're going to be a complete on the Spirit family, and what message do you have for the Mexican community? Again, congratulations.
Thank you, Ernesto. Time will tell. We have a lot of great fighters right here in this division at 154. We have one of them right here in the crowd, Zayas. I can't wait to share the ring with him, And then we have these other big names as well. So, we'll see where those belts go to. I only need 2 other belts, And And then I catch up to my sister, the youngest undisputed champion in the world. You know, shout out Gabby, sweet poison. But and thank you to all the Mexican fans out there. Thank you to all the ones that live in America, the ones in Mexico, all the Mexicans all around the world. Thank you for supporting me, and I hope you guys continue to support me.
Que viva Mexico!
Hi, Cynthia Conte for Best Women's Boxing Show here. This question is for Chordale, and then I'm going to ask you one after. Chordale, we talked about in our Zoom for this fight, fighting a man this tall. How you trained, you sparred certain people. Going into this fight, how difficult or how different was it for you?
I think I was doing all right for the time that it lasted. It's like I said, he made a good adjustment. Came with that. He instead of coming with the uppercuts, which I kept preparing for, he changed it up. Started coming around with the left hook. And then it's tough. It's tough. I mean, he's 6'6", so it's like no matter where he at in the ring, he's covering a lot of ground. Whether he's inside or outside, the shots are just coming from awkward angles that you're just not used to. You can't really like ever get prepared for that because who else is 6'6" at 154? So, and if not to be talk bad about people I'm sparring, but it's like if they were Fundora, they would be world champions, right?
Good effort. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Now, Fundora, let me move my camera. I hear Xander Zayas yesterday was announced WBO. He has named you the mandatory if you were to win. I heard him over there, and he says he sees some of your weaknesses. And how excited are you? I know you mentioned some names. You're looking to collect belts, but Xander's looking to collect that hardware that's right up there. How do you feel about taking on Xander? I think he's probably the next, out of all opponents, one of the tallest.
Yeah, we
compared to you.
we stood next to each other in the ring right now after the fight. I think it's going to be a great clash. When this happens, Puerto Rico versus Mexico, Mexico versus Puerto Rico, it's going to be a great fight, great Latin fight. Boxing needs it right now. Thank you.
Fundora, Michael from Brunch Boxing. Are you ready for a big fight like Spence and Charles? Are you guys up to that, taking something of that level next, a big money fight?
If the opportunity presents itself, definitely. We fight, we're prize fighters in this sport. So we want to win the biggest we can, and while we're young still,
Question for Fundora. Harold Guerra, UNLV Rebel Report. Sorry. Obviously, with this week, you being the guy that the card's built around, so how did this week compare to your last fight week where you came in under crazy circumstances, filled in for Keith Thurman, walked away with the belt? So did it feel any different, or was it just business as usual for the Fundora family?
Business as usual. We go in there, we drive into Vegas, we clock in, we do the fight, we clock out. I'm ready to go home and get some rest.
Just a question for each side. Chordale first, fighters, they'll watch other fighters on the outside and see things they believe they can exploit, but then it gets, it can be different once they get in there. Is there anything about Sebastian that is underrated, from the outside looking in, that you can only appreciate if you're in the ring with him?
Yeah, for sure. He definitely, it's the way he throws his shots. From the outside, when you watch him on tape, you think I could get away from that. And some of the shots I started getting away from was making some good turns. And it's a very deceptive the way he lands. It just kind of piled up, the shots that he caught me with, because I was taking that shot pretty decent, and then it landed. So deceptive power and just kind of the trajectory of his punches are a little different. You can't really keep up with the way he's throwing them when he's 6'6". He can drop down his hands a little bit lower, throwing them from up high, so it's coming down. It's just a little awkward, and great style, man, great style.
Thanks, Chordale.
No problem.
And then Sebastian, you always say, I'll fight whoever. That's not really my job. I'm the fighter. You put whoever in front of me, I fight. So Samson, the man to talk to about that stuff. What's realistically something the fans could expect in 25 for Sebastian? Is it Ortiz, since he's the interim? Is it Xander, who's the mandatory? Or is it a unification with Bakram Murtazaliev? What do you think is something realistic for the fans to get excited about?
Well, I believe that we taking a couple of days, and then we making the decision. Sometimes it's not so easy. Not to pick like other people, I don't want to say name, that you pick cherries, It will be a good fight, but we need to have a few days to sit with the team and make a decision what way we want to go.
Thanks, guys. Congrats, Sebastian.
Thank you, brother.
Any more questions for either Booker or Fundora? All right, we got one right here. Keith Heidick.
In the front.
Samson, can you clarify the WBC situation in that, obviously, if he has to make this title defense against Xander Zayas, would he be granted an exception by the WBC to defend both titles? Because he has a mandatory with the WBC, or a number one contender anyway.
Well, we didn't receive any letter yet. So when we receive the letter, so we find out. But anyway, the WBO is the next mandatory. That's correct, yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we let these guys go, we'll get final comments. I'll start with you, Booker. Obviously, like we said, certainly a disappointing result, but final thoughts for the team that came out. You had quite a few supporters coming from the East Coast to watch you. Anything you want to say, final words to them that helped come and support you for this fight?
Yeah, I want to thank Stanford. I want to thank Connecticut. I want to thank all you guys in the media. Thank, of course, Al Heyman. I want to thank God for this opportunity, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I want to thank my coach, my brother, my family. I know we ain't get this W, but like I said, man, in my foundation, we go the distance. When we continue to go the distance, I'll be back. This ain't the end of me. This is another bump in the road, learning experience. And I'll bounce back. And once again, I want to thank Al Heyman, PBC, Team Fundora, GTB Promotions, Tom Brown, everybody who worked this event, man. You guys have been amazing, treated me with such respect. And I can't say enough. Like, I feel so great being back here, being back and being greeted by all of you. Everybody treated me with such respect, and I felt like I was back at home. And also, I want to thank my manager, Paul. Without him, I wouldn't be here. And thank you as well too. You part of the team as well. And Fundora, thank you for the opportunity as well. The family is great, and to everybody, I'll be back.
And over to you, Sebastian. How good does it feel to make your first world title defense? And any final words for the fans that came out to watch you, people at home watching on Prime Video? What would you like to say to them? And how soon could we potentially see you back in 2025?
I definitely plan to be fighting again this year, as much as I can too, as well. So, like I said, I just gotta catch up to my sister now. That's what I'm focused on. Catch up to my sister, remain active. And let's make the Fundoras make history.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for the Towering Inferno, the WBO, WBC Super Welterweight Champion, Sebastian Fundora. I want to thank all the media that came out all week supporting, and we look forward to seeing you at the next PBC event. Once again, get home safely, ladies and gentlemen, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Always good seeing you, man. Of course, man. Don't be too disappointed. You already won. So.